Hey, what's up, Hollywood Night Heaters? We have a very, very, very special episode planned for you tonight. I'm here with my guest. Look at that guy. That guy. No, not her. Him. Not him. Jeff Allen. We're here to see an advanced screening of Predator, Killer of Killers. There he is. Look at that.
Hey, how you doing? What are you doing here?
Yeah, we're going to see that movie, Killer of Killers. And we have a special
I'm actually here
peek.
with my family. We're going to go have dinner at the oldest Italian restaurant in L.A.
Listen, we have a special peek of what the new design for the new Alien is. But I don't want to show you, but I'm gonna. It?
I don't know
if I
about this new
approve.
Predator movie.
But anyway, we're here at Hollywood Boulevard here. See the stars, and we're about to walk into the Egyptian Theater here in Hollywood. And when we get out, we're gonna give you our review, let you know what we think. All right? Catch you on the flip-flop.
On the flip-flop.
We just saw Predator, Killer of Killers, and a score of 1 to 5. What do you give it there, Jeff?
I'd have to give it a 6.
Yeah, man, I'll definitely give it a 5. It was fucking amazing, right?
It was extremely fucking amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I could nitpick it technically. And there are a couple things I didn't like, but let's first get no spoilers just yet. But then we're gonna have to get into spoilers. But I think I'll tell you what, it's such an amazing achievement, and I didn't even consider this to make it animated. And it started me thinking, why don't they just make a lot of sequels animated? Like they could do more Aliens. They could do like Rambo. They could do a sequel. We were just talking about Commando.
Yeah.
Make an animated Commando, like the day after, like, Arnold gets his daughter back. You know what I mean? The opportunities are there. Yeah.
You keep them young.
Keep them young. You don't have to worry about them getting old.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, to be honest, when I first heard about this movie, I thought, oh yeah, it's a new, and my future son-in-law told me it was animated. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was animated. I don't care about the animation because I work in it. And but man, I'm so glad this is animated.
It was phenomenal.
It's that drop frame animation that I'm not crazy about.
That doesn't bother me at all.
There were times when the face, I think it was the dad in the third sequence, his face was just so bad. It just had that weird texture on it. But I mean, the movie was so good that you can just overlook that. But
I love the close-up of one of the Predators, the paint strokes on his skin, and the way the blood splatter stayed on that guy.
right.
It just looked so artistic. It was paint, and painted on.
So still going, no spoilers still, is that there's a lot of action. Like it's split into 3 stories, and then there's
4.
Yeah, you're right, 4. But
It's
then,
an anthology.
Right. But there's a couple minutes of establishing the characters, and then the rest is just action. And I gotta say, sometimes the action, there were 2 times when I started daydreaming. There was so much action. Do you know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know.
This was the excellent action. I thought
It was. Don't get me wrong, but it was just like,
the only time I started daydreaming was during the introductions of the characters.
I get that.
Where it was like the first one, I was just like, oh boy, and I'm predicting
me
what's
too.
going to happen.
Me too.
And then luckily they blew my socks off, right through my shoes, and didn't do what I predicted. So that was a very refreshing thing.
Right.
And yeah, fantastic stuff. So my nitpicks would be about the character building. The who's his name? John Torres character.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I don't know.
That was
I
the
even
weakest.
said, I think I said out loud to myself, I don't like this guy, but I ended up loving him. And
Well, all right, so let's go into. All right, so right now, from here on out, we're going to spoilers.
Yeah, we'll probably
it's hard to talk
spoil
about
some
without. So this movie's going to be released in a week. It's now, what is it? Saturday, Sunday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday night. So I guess next Friday it's going to be on Hulu. And don't let that fool you into thinking that this isn't theatrical worthy, because it really is. It's really.
my God, yeah,
man.
it breaks my heart that it's only going to
Just
be
going
on
right
Hulu.
to streaming. Yeah. But the first story is Vikings, and it's a woman Viking. It's a revenge plot thing going on. Don't want to give too much away. But I wasn't. It took me a minute to get into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Me too.
I just wasn't. You know, the sun was a non-issue. You know, I didn't.
Anders, and his name Anders. It's
Anders.
like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
I didn't like his design. I thought, okay, here we go. He's going to go ahead, and it's going to be this little guy fighting a big-ass predator.
And I
Wasn't happy about that.
I don't know much about Viking culture, but are women? Or do they?
They're shield maidens.
Huh?
I mean, yeah, women are just as...
Okay, I didn't know
I
that.
think.
I don't know. I thought this was a DEI thing. But all right, so that's cool.
Ursa.
Ursula.
I want an
She-Wolf of the
Ursa
Essex.
action figure
Okay.
so badly.
So, yeah, that was cool. Her shields. This one was called the Shield. And she fought with two shields. Cool stuff. All right.
That scene, that whole fucking wow.
Okay, so here's where I'm getting nitpicky about this. She does this long attack on this
A
fort.
Brian De Palma one take.
One take.
No, dude.
But listen.
I don't want to.
I was getting so claustrophobic because the camera was in so tight, so often there, and it was just everything. Just rewatch that with that in mind. It was too tight on everything.
No, it was on her. That's all that mattered was her.
Yeah,
and,
like her
and
shoulder
action.
and her face when
Dude,
she's like swinging an axe.
Dude, you
I wanna
had
see
this.
the arc of the axe. I don't
This
want to
is
see
you, man.
this.
This is you. I remember Big Guy and Rusty. We were on Big Guy and Rusty, and we were watching, I don't know, somebody's animatic. It wasn't your episode that you directed. And Big Guy lifted up a car, and all you could see was, this much of the car, And I remember this guy saying, "Man, pull back so you want to see him hold up that whole car, so you can see the car."
I still would make that note. Yeah, you want to see a giant car. You want to see
Yeah.
a little guy in a big car instead of
Yeah.
just a fucking guy holding the wheels. And
It worked.
Anyway.
It worked for this, and when you see it, you're gonna think, "Man, he's crazy," but at the same time, you're not crazy
right.
for thinking that.
It just watch it again. You'll see. No, this is good right here.
Dude, I know.
You see what I'm saying? It's
No,
but here's the thing. I hope they have a different crew for the second one, because the second one was amazing. The second one was the
Dude, that was
okay.
that one was the one. Yeah,
It's funny because I've just been watching a bunch of ninja stuff lately, and they had a ninja. I thought it was I thought it was just gonna be a samurai episode.
yeah.
When he came out as a ninja, I was like, oh, a ninja versus a predator, and he moved so beautifully. And it's crazy because I've been watching a lot of ninja stuff. I just watched Enter the Ninja, the one from the '80s. What a piece of shit that movie is. It's terrible.
it's wonderfully terrible though.
I can't even. And the way this guy moved, and in the fight with
That's
it's
great
everything.
because nowadays they're doing it the way we wanted it to happen
Yeah.
back in the '80s. That was all we got with our ninja stuff. Real slow, stupid.
And the weapons that they were using, because the ninja has the coolest weapons, and then the predator had these really badass weapons, man. The stuff he was pulling out, I don't want to give too much away, but
Yeah,
man,
and also really cool
stuff.
Tenchu vibes for anybody who's played that classic video game.
Yeah, and rooftops and
So
stuff.
fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the story in that was the best one, right? So the ninja, that one was called The Sword.
And I was like, for me, it was like, how can you top the Viking, the opening? And then they topped it. And then the third one,
dude, I didn't get the whole dad thing. That story was weak. And the worst part, so this story takes place in 1941 and 40. It skipped ahead a year or two.
yeah,
42.
yeah. So
and
it
it was
takes place
American
during World
kids
War II,
during World War
right
II.
before and during.
Hispanic kid and his dad, he was working on planes.
Yeah.
It was basically an excuse for him to have the air battle. So it was pretty much a dogfight the whole segment. I didn't like his story. I thought him climbing out on the wing was the worst, stupid. I don't know if that was an executive
cartoon
decision.
action.
And then
I had a lot of fun with that part because at least something different was happening. I was wondering, how the hell are they going to do this with a little tiny fucking plane versus a giant predator ship?
Yeah.
You know, and I still don't think they pulled it off completely believably, but it was fun. And I just picture, I mean, the way parents are raising their children now, this is a kid's movie that I would have loved to have seen as a kid.
Yeah.
Because it's rated R and lots of violence,
lots of gore.
but just that good, wholesome violence.
Yeah.
You know, there's no real disturbing stuff that happens in this that's like, you know, torture or, well, there's a little bit in the Viking one, but, you know, it's wonderfully American entertainment.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Really good. And then they all come together at in the fourth segment. So
Yes,
each
which
character
was a
shows up.
special frickin'
Yeah. I thought they were just going to end
presence.
it. Didn't know. And then
they've got something in mind, you know. They weren't just like, oh, we'll come up with 3 cool stories and maybe we'll tie them together. No, they definitely tied them together, and that's where, you know, even though the third one is a little on the lame side, the dogfight, that character from the third one, is
it paid off.
He turns out to be pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
and it's goddamn, man.
So good.
It's really, really great, and a nice little after credit tease.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That was nice.
Prey.
Not as nice as I wanted it to be, but it was still nice.
Right.
You know, and without spoiling anything, maybe we'll, you know, once you guys see it and comment, we'll talk about that in the comments or on our Discord. Not that we have one.
And you know what's crazy too? When the credits start rolling, like the second or third name is a buddy of mine, which I would love to have on this show. He's one of those dudes that it'd be great to have him on here and talk about it, because it's funny. My buddy Drew, he's like, honestly, it's the second or third name that starts rolling, and he was,
all by
he was
itself.
an animation producer or something on it. And I had seen him, I think it was pre-COVID, and anyways, he's a good dude. We've gone out, had beers, we've gone to Dodgers games, see the Phils play. A guy from Boston, so he's got that silly accent. It could be funny to get on the show and talk in that funny accent, but he said, I texted him right after the screening. I was like, "Yo, are you here?" Because this is a crew screening, and it's an invite thing. And he said, "No, he was at the cast and crew last night." So, but he says, "I have a bunch of good stories to tell.
Oh, cool.
If you want to hear them." So, yeah, maybe
get
we'll
him
get
on
him
the
on
show.
Yeah, there's some stories.
Yeah.
But
Don't look now, but there's an actual predator behind you.
Yeah.
There he is. He's taking pictures.
Also, so this track, what's the name? The guy
Dan
spoke,
Trachtenberg.
Dan Trachtenberg talked afterwards, and what was his little nugget? He said something. I wanted to. He's working on Badlands, which is another.
It's coming out later this year.
Oh, he did say that, because they mentioned, all right, the girl from Prey is still alive, and he's going to do 2 more Predator live action movies. Badlands is one. He's got one in his pocket, ready to go. Well, and he made a little hint that it's going to be Prey. So he's going to
Prey
continue
2,
Prey.
so it's going to be the same gal from Prey.
I don't know. Did you hear what he said? Because he's like, they put that in the end of this movie.
I fell asleep when he was talking.
But I think they're going to continue that stuff. I don't know Badlands too. I didn't even see the trailer for that, so I don't even know. He's talking like everybody knows what's in the trailer.
Yeah, like,
I never saw it.
well, we're all Predator fans in this theater.
Yeah. Anyways,
He's assuming.
but
yeah, I guess we got to watch the trailer for Badlands.
I guess we do. Yeah. I mean, Prey was fine. I didn't hate Prey. It just. And I think he had the same thought that we had when we were on our way over here. We were talking. I wish Prey. To improve Prey, I think it should have been in the native language. No English words. Maybe subtitles. Maybe, I don't know. And he kind of, the way they were talking about when they were writing this movie, is that they were stripping away dialogue from the,
for the
Japanese
the ninja
samurai one.
part, yeah.
Samurai one. And he wanted to make a movie without any dialogue, which I think is a great idea. You know, that's
Yeah,
if
it's a sign of a good storyteller. And boy, oh boy,
Yeah,
that second sequence was really f***ing strong.
yeah, man.
Really good. I can't wait to see this again.
Yeah,
I thought I was just going to be, like, when the action happened, I was going to be bored. Like, yeah. And I was not at all. I don't think you will be. Anybody will be. It's right up there with the best,
yeah,
like, anime action sequences.
yeah. I didn't expect to
So
be this
good.
enthusiastic about it. I really
Yeah,
didn't.
me
I
either, me
expected
either.
to just
We were
dump
like
on it.
pretty, like, oh, the animated Predator movie? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I guess we'll come see it. Get
But
some free
it
popcorn.
also, I'm telling you, it gives me hope for possibly making other franchises animated like this. Like,
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
Commando.
Yeah,
I know Jeff
man.
Loeb. I used to work for the guy. I'll give him a call. He wrote Commando
Think though.
and Teen Wolf
Okay.
and Burglar with Whoopi Goldberg.
Teen Wolf animated. Like, I don't know. Or
They already tried that. That was a Saturday morning cartoon.
Heart beeps.
Heart beeps. Now you're cooking. Oh man, that shit Bernadette Peters' stars just
Bernadette
right out
Peters,
there.
Yeah. Bernadette
Andy
Peters.
Kaufman.
Yeah.
Was Herman Munster in that?
I don't know. Heart beeps.
Fred Gwynn. No, it wasn't. Yeah. No, it was Art Carney. No, wasn't there like an older guy? Like it was them, two of them, and then there was like an older robot. That was some great fucking makeup. Did
Yeah.
Rick Baker do that or Rob Bottin?
You know what? I bet
It
you're
was
right.
Rob
yeah.
Bottin, probably.
You look like
Wow.
DreamWorks robots aesthetic.
Yeah, then they had those Energizer commercials that kind of looked like they used all the heartbeats. Remember that? The family.
All right.
So, is everybody using Duracell batteries?
No kidding.
Whoopie-doo. Anyways,
All right.
oh boy. So yes, go see this movie. We give it 4
Yeah.
Hollywood Night Heat thumbs up.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go talk to the Predator, see what's up. But
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get his autograph. And we saw Brian Fuller here.
All right. Enough talk. See you later.